Hello and welcome. I'm really glad you're here. If you're watching this, chances are you've been feeling confused, maybe exhausted, or just plain hurt. Today, we're going to walk through a really clear step-by-step plan for healing from emotional abuse. Think of this as a safe space to find some clarity and start that journey of taking your power back. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start with what is probably the most important rule here. That little voice inside you, that gut feeling that something just isn't right, that's your best guide. Emotional abuse is so tricky because it's often super subtle. It's actually designed to make you second-guess yourself. But your feelings, they're not wrong. They're valid. You have to trust them. If you're nodding along to this right now, please know you are not the only one. This feeling is a classic sign of emotional manipulation. It's a huge red flag that you're not just having a simple disagreement, your actual energy is being drained. And that is not, I repeat, not a normal part of any healthy relationship. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by understanding the problem, and then we're going to move into clear, real-world steps you can take to heal. Just think of this as your personal roadmap to get from that place of confusion back to yourself. Okay, first things first, we have to call this what it is. At its core, emotional abuse is all about distorting your reality. It's a control tactic, and its main goal is to make you doubt what you know and feel is true. Why? Because when you're doubting yourself, it's so much easier for someone else to have power over you. And that word, subtle, that is everything. It isn't always shouting or obvious aggression. Sometimes it's just a quiet little comment suggesting you're wrong, or that you're remembering things incorrectly, or of course that you're just too sensitive. Realizing this isn't you, it's a tactic, is the first huge step to breaking free. All right, let's dive into our first big step, learning to recognize the playbook. You really can't win a game if you don't even know you're playing, right? Just building this awareness is like giving yourself a shield. Once you start seeing the patterns, the manipulation starts to lose its grip. What's so wild is that manipulators often fall into these predictable types. These aren't just personality quirks, they are literal strategies. You see the critic? Their goal is to chip away at your self-worth so you'll depend on them more, or the victim who uses guilt to get you to do things. Seeing these archetypes helps you realize the motive behind what they're doing. And here's the key. It's not about you. It's about their need for control or attention. And once you see that, you can choose a smart response instead of just having an emotional reaction. And here it is, the actual verbal ammunition from their playbook. Just listen to these. You're too sensitive. What that really means is your feelings are invalid. How about, you made me do this? That's just a way to shift all blame off of them. And the worst one, that never happened. That's gaslighting. It's a direct attack on your reality, on your sanity. Hearing these isn't just a red flag. It's a giant blaring alarm that a tactic is being used on you. Okay, so now that we can spot the tactics, let's move on to our second step, protecting your own inner peace. Before you can even think about setting boundaries with them on the outside, you have to build up your defenses on the inside. This is all about saving your mental and emotional energy. And this right here, this is a total game changer. I know it's tempting to try and change them or make them understand your side, but that's usually a trap. It just leads to more pain and frustration. Your real power comes from focusing on the only thing you actually have control over, how you choose to react. Which leads us to this incredibly powerful tool called the gray rock method. Think about it. Manipulators, especially narcissists, they feed on emotional reactions. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's all fuel to them. When you become a gray rock, you give them nothing. No drama, no anger, no tears. You literally become boring to them and they have to go look somewhere else for that drama. So how do you do it? Here's the playbook. Keep your answers short, stick to the facts. And please, remember this acronym, JADE. A manipulator wants you to justify, argue, defend, or explain. That's the hook. That's how they pull you into those crazy-making conversations that go nowhere. If you refuse to JAD, you starve the conflict of its oxygen. A simple, I see, can be a complete sentence that gives them absolutely nothing to grab onto. So once you've started to build up that inner fortress, you are ready for step 3, drawing those firm, clear, unshakable lines. And remember, setting a boundary isn't mean or aggressive. It's a deep, profound act of self-respect. This phrase is so powerful because it's not a request. You're not asking them for permission. It's a statement, a fact. You're not opening a debate about their tone. You're simply declaring that it's unacceptable to you.
You are setting the rules of engagement. You don't actually need their permission to end a conversation, especially one that's become abusive or is just going in circles. This phrase gives you the power to just disengage. You can walk away. It puts control of your own time and your energy right back in your hands.
Oh, this one is crucial for those topics they love to bring up over and over again just to get a rise out of you. You can simply refuse to play. You're not just setting a boundary on their behavior, but on the entire topic of conversation. It's off limits. Now, the beauty of this one is how calm and confident it is. It acknowledges they can have their opinion. You're not arguing that, but you're also firmly holding your own ground. It shows this quiet strength in your own perspective, and you can just leave it at that. No further debate needed. Being in a manipulative environment for any amount of time, it can just wreck your self-esteem. So our fourth step in this recovery plan is all about actively and with intention rebuilding your sense of who you are from the inside out. Please just take a breath and let this one really sink in. You have to be kind to yourself. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the constant criticism, none of that was your fault. You were targeted. Self-compassion is the solid ground you need to stand on to rebuild your confidence. And this right here is a really practical tool for that. Affirmations aren't about pretending everything is perfect. They're about practicing a new way to think. You're literally rewiring the negative voice in your head that was put there by the abuse. Just pick one or two of these that really speak to you and say them to yourself every day. It's a small act, but it's a powerful way to take back your own story.
Okay, our final step is so important. Building your support system. Healing from this stuff is not a solo mission. In fact, one of the biggest tools a manipulator uses is isolation. So reconnecting with healthy, supportive people is one of the most powerful moves you can make.
But listen, not all support is good support. A truly healthy support system makes you feel seen. They validate your experiences. They don't tell you you're overreacting. They respect your boundaries. Use this little chart as a filter. Who in your life really lifts you up? And who, maybe without meaning to, is keeping you stuck? So as we start to wrap this up, I really want to leave you with this idea. This whole journey isn't just about stopping bad behavior. It's a profound process of coming home to yourself. You are reclaiming your power, your peace, and the person you were always meant to be. So what now? The most important thing is to take one small, actionable step. It doesn't have to be some huge, dramatic thing. Just looking back at everything we've talked about, what is one tangible boundary you can set this week? Maybe it's ending a phone call that's draining you. Maybe it's just saying no. Or maybe it's trying out one of those scripts we talked about. Your healing starts with that very first step. Thank you so much for being here.